All right, guys, here we are, the moment that I've been waiting for far too long. We're going to talk about Stranger Things, Episode 1 of Season 2.
Holy shit, it's back.
Oh, man, this episode was great. I had some Netflix issues where I could not watch it as I normally would on my TV. I ended up watching it in the car today on a cell phone, and I think it honestly was totally fine. It lends itself to, like, directly in the eye, full attention.
Shoving in the face.
And this was wonderful.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is kind of, we're in a weird position here where I can't pick anything apart or be critical of anything. I kind of just have to go like, and this, loved it, and that, loved it, this, loved it.
I think as an opening episode, it did cover a lot of bases here, and it set up a lot of cool stuff. I love the opening shot is like this bank robbery or whatever.
We'll go chronologically.
I think that was just super dope. I think it's cool that you have an 11-esque character.
8.
Oh, did it say 8?
She has an 8 on her arm.
Oh, I read it. What did I read? As like
00B.
I read DOB, I think is what I thought it said.
I think it's 8.
And maybe it was. I was on the phone again, so like little things.
I was just gonna say, so anything text or like visual, you might not have accurately whatever. I'm pretty sure it's 8. I hope it's 8.
Okay.
If it's not 8, I'm gonna feel really dumb. But
the B I thought could have been an 8.
Yeah.
But I thought it said DOB. I was like, all right. Is she gonna move her hand and I'll see when she was born?
No, I think she's 8, and it's a fucking like. So I think like. One of the predictions possible for this season would have been like we're gonna have 12, right? And it's it's gonna be like X24 or something. Where like what?
X23?
No, 24. When in like Logan, when they have like better Logan show up or whatever, right? And he's X24 and like the thing. Or whatever,
I thought you were referring to the first part when they did that when you had the clone female version X23.
Nope. I'm saying like we were gonna have like another like 11 didn't work out and there's some shit going on, but now we have another one. And she follows orders unquestionably and she's cruel and terrifying. And Matt Modine didn't die, but he's in a wheelchair. And like 12 is like destroying the world, but like 11 has the power of friendship and she's trying to save the whatever, but she's not as strong. But it's like an anime and she has to do like whatever the fuck.
I think this is far better.
Yes, it is.
That potentially every number from the beginning has either died or escaped.
Yeah, because that means that now, like, right, because she's 11, like, who the fuck, like, I think people just assumed, like, the rest failed or were dead or those nosebleeds were so bad or something. But the fact that there's an 8,
I didn't even think about it that way, as there'd be more.
The fact that there's an 8 out there opens the door for approximately 9 other ones, I think, literally.
What would be super dope, I don't think it's going to play out this way, but what would be super dope is if those 3 other people in the car were different numbers. And they each just have a different type of power. So she just happened to have the power that made sense to use at that time.
That would be awesome.
I think that would be really cool.
And that's the exact same thing, but it's 11 versus like a team of people. This show's not actiony like that.
I don't picture it being a this versus that thing. Yeah. I predict it as like oh no, we need all these people to fight this coming storm that is upon us.
To fight Red Storm Cthulhu Face.
That's my thought.
That would be awesome too. No, I really so like it's Halloween, right? They have masks on, but like they're also punk rockers, I think too, or something, and they're dirty people of various ethnicities. And I would love it if they were all
powered up.
Matt Modine test tube babies or whatever we're saying now.
It would be wonderful.
Shit, mother.
I would love it if like you have somebody who can like throw fire.
Yeah. If you had all the X-Men represented in this fucking thing here.
It would be
right?
Oh man, it would be wonderful.
Yeah, because her power, 8's power, is like putting stuff into people's brains.
Yeah.
But also she was saying like turn left up ahead, there's a thing. So I think she could like it's just like overall psychic stuff, but it seemed like more of a focus of like that. You just saw it, but it's a fucking awesome shot where the cop has to like stop, and then it's like, what the fuck, motherfucker? And he's like, what? And then it's like like the things did not actually fall. She just made him think that. I love that shit.
Which is almost cooler than if she would actually have exploded it. Yeah, dude. Because it makes you have limitless potential of what her power could actually be. Because everybody has a mind that she could put shit into, and potentially she can do more than just make it look like things collapse. She can make you maybe not even see her. She can make you see things that aren't there, obviously. But like people, places, things. Cool shit.
One of my favorite things ever from like the Freddy Krueger movies is there's a scene where he's in like the middle of the road taunting the kids, and they ram him with the car, and when they hit him, the car Freddy doesn't move. The car just goes like and like wraps around Freddy, and then it cuts, and like Freddy just made them think that like the road went this way, but he made them think the road went that way, and this tree was him and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, there's a bunch of potential for people like I'm covered in bugs or there's snakes in me or something, whatever the fuck.
No, it's just super, super cool.
But then we never see her for the rest of the episode. It was
well,
just
no,
this
no.
little,
but that's
like,
the best way to do it for episode 1.
Guess what's out there? There's something waiting for you or whatever.
Because you start off with a car chase, cool shit. You think you lost them, and then there's 3 of them. Oh, God, how are we going to get out of this? Boom. Boom. That was dope.
And she gets the nosebleed, too, so it even further reinforces whatever. So that's the whole thing that I'm glad we got out of the way.
Yeah, then you have the kids, trying to get some money, and you're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And it's like, oh, Dragon Slayer just came out.
Yeah, so fucking, this is awesome. Because you have that intro, and then you're like, oh, are the same people in charge of this? Did the show drastically change? Is it going to be like an anime where they're powered people fighting? And it's like, no, we have the piggy bank, we have, the 80s music playing, we're going to the arcade, we have that one kid who curses all the time. Yeah. Be like, I'm sick of this fucking horse shit, this is ridiculous, son of a bitch! And him and his mom have this interaction.
That, I was like, oh, he's an actor. That their rapport was wonderful.
Her whole thing of they don't even use words or whatever. I was
but that's so real.
That's genius. Yeah, it's perfect. Let me look under the cushions. It's an emergency. Whatever. No, not that I was worried, but any doubts you had about are we in good hands this season? What direction is the show
squashed.
going?
You're fine.
Bam, you're already in there and stuff. But the arcade's the arcade from the trailer. We knew we were going to see Red Storm Cthulhu face.
Yes,
but this is just the first half of the 2. He sees him again later, and
it's a little better the second time.
They kind of cut them together for the trailer, but yes. That's the first indication that things are not okay for young Will.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Just to continue on to the Will thing for a second. So Will is going back to the facility where he has routine check-ins and check-ups to chart his progress and give him a little bit of therapy. So I thought that was interesting. Paul Reiser as the doctor, love it because I think he's awesome.
He's great.
Did you think it's weird that Hop is there with him? And at the one point he said, "Mom, Dad."
Yes.
To them.
So that caught my eyes and ears or whatever too, where I was like, I don't know why they have to pretend. And
or is that just something he's saying facetiously?
I don't know. Maybe he's a jokester. But no, I took it they are pretending that they are the parents of the kid and he's there for the thing, which makes no sense. And the whole time I was trying to piece together, wait, how did this end? Does anyone know about? Because Winona Ryder and Hop went to the Upside Down to get Will, right? So
yes.
They clearly know he's not crazy. So what is the pretense that we're working off of here exactly? This happened. What's happening here? I don't know. It was very weird to me.
I didn't take it as they were trying to say it didn't happen, but they were trying to bring it back into a reality situation where it's okay, post-traumatic stress, that's a real thing. You have this, he's going crazy. There's nothing we can do. Oh, my God. That whole bullshit. I wonder, though, if it's because the doctors knew. I wonder if they're going to fill in more backstory about how much he knows. He does say,
Paul Reiser?
Paul Reiser. He says, we're not the same people. Those people are gone, blah, blah, blah.
I know.
Is it completely everything on Front Street? Does he know everything? Is there a situation if he doesn't know everything where they're like, oh no, he's the dad because they only let family in? Why did they say that exactly? She's clearly moved on and dating some guy, Samwise Gamgee.
I know. And when I saw him, I wrote down Sean Astin as Patton Oswalt as Bob the Brain, whatever, because I was like, Lily, you just look at all. That's fine.
Yeah, but he was good, and they had chemistry.
He was so good. That fucking thing where he's like, I'm going to have to look in the back. And they're like kids and stuff. Everything about this was so good, I feel like I'm just going to be like a broken record. But
when
that
he
was
said
so,
Mr. Mom,
real.
Oh, yeah! Woo! Yeah. I was like, all right.
No, he again, oh, you're an actor, thank God. Because sometimes you're like, why? All the famous people coming out of the woodwork to have cameos in Stranger Things now.
No,
so
I think I've known he's been an actor for a while. Because if you chart just Rudy, Encino Man, Lord of the Rings, and then go to him in 50 First Dates, those are dramatically different characters.
I only saw some of those.
You Can Die in a Fire. I'll check those out later.
I saw Lord of the Rings and Encino Man. Encino Man was so long ago. And then Lord of the Rings is just I'll carry you, Frodo. So I was just he just carries Frodo.
He's like a juice head with a lisp in 50 First Dates.
Okay.
And in Rudy, he's just I have the heart of a champion.
I know. I don't like sports movies.
It's more of a drama than a sports movie.
I know. They always are.
No, but back to the Stranger Things, the
Super
topic
good.
at hand.
Yeah.
So I love the... What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of like of their chemistry, before I forget the other half of that, Winona Ryder.
Sure.
I actually watched a few things like in the time since Stranger Things season 1 and
With
like
her?
now, just like other podcasts and people talking about the first season and stuff like that randomly over the course. And I remember having this weird sense because like I always try to not watch anything anyone else has done before we do our thing or whatever, and then I watch other people's things, and it's been like months or whatever, years it feels like, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Winona Ryder, I don't know, like overacting or something like that." Like,
I thought she was great,
good. And she was so great here, and she's like giving Will like the looks on her faces and stuff, the weird little like things. If she was a cartoon character, she'd have those like extra little lines around her eyes all the time. Like she's so nervous because she does know what happened to Will, and she's like, and the whole thing of like, okay, do not walk home. Call me. I will be here. All this whole like a list of things. Oh, it's wonderful.
Now, like, and the brother character, I always liked him. I think he was cast well. He seems to be doing good things with his life. He's obviously didn't get the girl. The douchebag guy who kind of redeemed himself is still with her, and that still obviously is getting to him. He's not enjoying that.
I know these people's names. The brother is Jonathan, and it is Nancy and I don't know the guy's name. Steve.
I purposely avoid all names.
Steve
It'll only hurt me.
Steve the hairdo. Yeah, that was cool in last season, right? They had that thing where he's like, "You're a creepy stalker," and he's like, "I'm a creepy stalker, I guess." I guess he's whatever, and like the whole thing. Yeah, but I
bought him a new camera.
I like that they're still friends, him and Nancy, and I like that they're still together because he did come back in with like a bat or something, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, and that was an awesome moment there too.
There's going to be more love triangle things, obviously, because he's a senior, he's going away. Yeah. She's going to be a junior with him still. I think he's a junior, right? He's not a senior.
They were literally in the same class, so I feel like they're yeah.
Well, that's not definitive proof, but yeah, that's.
I wasn't saying it like that.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah, I like that extra like. There's so much in this to flesh out these characters and to quickly bring you up to speed, right? Yeah. She's like, "Well, your essay sucks," and he's like, "I'm not college material. I'm gonna end up working for my dad. This fucking sucks." Like that's such an interesting, right? You're not just like he's not like, "Hey," like
it's cool.
We have an actual.
None of the characters are really one-dimensional in this, which is nice. We have a new character.
Holy shit!
2 new characters actually.
Yeah.
A boy and a girl, brother and sister. I love so the boys are playing video games earlier, and one of their scores is broken. The score is broken by a MadMax, the title of this episode, and the MadMax is introduced as a new character, Maxine, girl in their class. They proceed to stalk her to try to figure this out, and I love when she throws something away and they immediately go to the garbage because it's a 1 in like a million that they would even do that. And the fact that they did it and she wrote, "Stop following me, creeps," or whatever, "Stop stalking me," I thought that was hilarious. I laughed out loud.
Was that too forced for you, or was that
No, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I totally agree. I like because she's obviously gonna like join the crew
100%
or whatever the fuck, but she's so and like just their fucking dialogue. Also, she skateboards, so she's fucking awesome or whatever. You're like, oh, it's amazing.
And guaranteed, there's gonna be some '80s movie shot where she's skateboarding through impossible odds to get away or to something or with a deadline,
save some
something,
sort of day or whatever. Oh God, yeah. So we don't know what. I mean, do you think that there's anything more to them being in town now for some reason? Because to cut to
you think their dad is Paul Reiser or something.
Like to cut to the end, right? The machine's going off. You have like Homer Simpson-esque character not paying attention to the alarms happening.
Yeah,
at,
Jesus Christ.
At the scary tentacle factory where he works.
Did you think it's cool that they have a guy who goes in there and fucking just flame throws it to get it to go back?
I fucking love that so much. That's one of those like real ass things where it's like, well, we have it under control, but like I don't know. And it's like, well, what does that mean exactly? And then yeah, you have to have a guy like he's like trimming hedges, just constantly beating back the spreading evil of the fucking portal. Like that's amazing.
And like, what would even be a permanent solution to that? Because even if you were to like bricked it over, it would just like seep through the brick,
it would just
right?
Start to go through the
it's
mortar
seeping
lines
through reality. Would it not just do whatever it needs to do?
For whatever reason, they can't seal it. Maybe they need L to seal it. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. I don't even know if they want to seal it up, right?
It's cool.
But holy fuck.
You'd think we'd be running constant experiments by sending people in there, too. Like,
oh, they recently had negative experience with doing that. But I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not stopping anything from coming through.
Learn
you might as well go back. Like, yeah, there's so much to learn. I love the time period that this stuff takes place in because it's so much cooler. There's like so much juice with like, actual lights and things blinking and like real stuff.
Yeah.
you lose that in these futuristic things. Like I love actual monitors, actual things. Like it feels so much cooler because as a kid that was the future. It was things that looked like that. So when I see that, I don't know if it's just nostalgia or I feel like it looks realer. But now when I see things where I'm like, I don't even know if that's computer generated. Is that a real monitor there? Is there something on that screen? But knowing it's like overlays with little dim lights below it, I'm like, oh, it's so cool.
No, I think nowadays too people go into much of the other direction. Where it's not even like this exists now. They have technology from a crashed alien spacecraft and everything's floating around.
Or you just touch it with your hand and oh, it's in my brain.
Or all that stuff. But this is really, that's why I call it the scary tentacle factory, because it's literally Homer Simpson working at the plant, only this happens to be a different type of facility. But it feels exactly the same. There's the fucking doors and catwalks and all the bullshit that you would have in one of those places, and the stupid hoses and clamping and doing all this stuff. It's extremely real and of that time period.
Love it so much. So presumably something really bad is happening there too.
So something really bad is happening there. I don't know if it's a coincidence. So older brother with the Canadian tuxedo, and the girls are like, look at that butt or whatever the fuck.
Yes.
And here I am, rock you like a hurricane's fucking playing or whatever the fuck with Maxine. So he gets no lines though.
No.
You hear him MOS arguing with Maxine. So maybe things are not good with them or something like that. We are assuming it's it's her older brother because he walks towards the school. But you don't even see him in class, right? You don't even see anything yet. We're still what is happening here? Who's this person?
Her name is Maxine 13. She skipped right over.
Holy shit!
I do not think that she's actually.
They all have powers. Everyone has. They're all like, "What's this number on my back?" Oh my god!
No.
They're all floating in the sky. It's amazing.
I don't think that happens at all.
I hope
that would be funny.
I hope not. Yes.
Yeah. So he gets no lines. He's certainly going to become a main character too. He might even add into the triangle with all the other people.
Yeah. Who is he positioned against yet? No one, I think.
No one yet.
Yeah.
But it's certainly going to happen.
It is weird to leave that open, but I like it. It's a little tension to be
I would wager my prediction, assuming that he joins the love triangle, it's that he somehow gets close to Nancy. Hairdo doesn't like it. They start to fight, and that leads him to the brother. That leads her to the brother.
That leads her to the creepy arms of the photographer brother.
Yeah,
that
would be my guess.
She's like, these meatheads keep ignoring the monsters, and you're the only one who understands me.
Speaking of ignoring the monsters, clearly there was something by the garbage can.
Holy shit!
So something was already in reality, and maybe it's just that the timelines of when they're showing us Homer Simpson at the factory is not exactly lined up. Like maybe that happened. Sure. Maybe we'll find out 3 days ago something escaped.
No, and I thought
probably not.
The first episode gives that it does it's 40-something minutes long, and it does a lot of heavy fucking lifting, right?
Yes.
Where we've established
if they're all like this, oh man.
We've updated all these characters, we know exactly where everyone stands, we've established new things with new people and all this other shit going on, and at the same time given this impression that there's this just coming to a boil, something's happening, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying I don't know if Maxine's a coincidence. It probably is, so everything doesn't have to be.
I think they just needed a character to fill a void, because 11 alive, spoilers, but she's in the woods and Hop's taking care of her all secretive so the boys don't know she's alive. It's been almost a year to the day.
So we need a girl.
I don't know if that's going to hold some actual significance, every year this happens or something like that. Because was it around Halloween the year before? I don't remember them featuring Halloween predominantly. So it's weird to say it's 1 year later to the day if that wasn't a big case.
Yeah, the anniversary of The Thing is coming up. Was there a Halloween thing?
Because he says on the radio it's been 352 days, so it's 3 days around Halloween. I don't remember that being a thing at all in the last one, but there were bigger things happening. Will was missing, whatever. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I was going to say,
priority was trick-or-treating.
I think I'm mixing myself up because maybe it's in the trailer for the next season where the kids are wearing the Ghostbusters outfits. That's not from last season.
No,
right?
that's in this season.
Upcoming season, yeah. I don't remember a lot of Halloween, but yeah, it was.
I don't remember. And again, but I'm a forgetful man. I could possibly have just missed it or forgotten it. But that seems like that would have been a big thing, and it's odd that if 1 year to the day won't matter for the story, why you would say 1 year from the day if I don't remember at all it being Halloween in the first place.
Could have been just after Halloween.
It could have been. It would have been a day after Halloween, presumably.
Well, 352, right? We got 65. So what's that? 2 weeks away from whatever day. I don't know what day the first thing happened on.
Yeah, well, my thought was that maybe I'm wrong. I assumed Halloween would be like the last day of the season. So like there's 9 episodes in the season, and maybe not. It could be next episode. I have no idea. My thought would be it would be all building up to Halloween, and then Halloween would be like, oh my god, because it would be a great when monsters are out, it being Halloween day, people would have like reason for why they're not scared, or you're lying, or a
such
prank.
a costume. It's amazing.
Exactly. So we'll see.
That's a well-worn thing. I dig that.
What else is
Hop?
going on? So Hop is harboring 11.
I know, but real quick. When you like see him, like he goes to like the whole sequence, every intro like knocks it out of the park, right?
Yeah.
Because the old intro for Hop was like he's brushing his teeth with beer or something, his shit's all hanging out, he's like blowing a butt, like fuck the world, this is awful or whatever. And then the phone rings and it's like, oh god, this guy has to save the day. This is gonna suck. And then he like pulls it in. Here, like the secretary is like fucking takes the cigarette out, takes the donut, gives him an apple. He's like, she's like. So this is Hop like coming into his thing, and you're like, oh, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and he's fending off that fucking sleazebag investigator guy.
Who is that guy? He reminds me of somebody.
I don't know.
He's in something. He's an actor.
I started Googling for certain things, and how it says like a character's name and then 6 episodes, right? And I was like, oh fuck! So I stopped Googling because that's a spoiler that they're gonna die 2 episodes before the end, or they're gonna go to a peace conference or something. So I stopped Googling, but he's definitely someone. I'm not sure who it is, but he's not Sean Astin or Paul Reiser, so go fuck yourself.
Here's a question that just I'm thinking of that I had earlier. Now, we as the audience know that Barb is dead, both that we've seen her body and they've gone on record saying, like, she's not coming back, she's dead, bitch, whatever.
Yeah.
Did they find her body in a way that they knew it was her? I can't remember if Nancy landed and saw her pen or something, or a pin and was like, that's her.
There's something, but it takes place in the Upside Down.
Yes.
There's I don't know for you, there's a recap of season 1 that plays.
Oh, not on the phone. I didn't see that at all.
Okay. So in the recap, and I totally also remembered it, but it's in the recap. Barb's whole body is desiccated and wet and mummified, and there's shit crawling out of her mouth and stuff.
Was there anything that made it it was her though?
Oh, could it have been an
could it have been anybody else? Yeah.
It was definitely her. There was something identifiable. I forget what. Maybe.
And Nancy was the one that found it, right?
Someone knows. Nancy.
Because the way Nancy reacted when they said we're gonna find her, blah blah blah. It was like, okay, she clearly at the very least assumed she was dead, and I thought she saw her body, but I was like, could we say definitively that was her? Because no one can actually say anything about what happened. Because it's unbelievable. Although it's factual, it's true. You couldn't go to someone's parents stop, don't sell the house. She died in an upside down.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did you murder my daughter?
There's this other dimension, and it's wet, and there's stuff floating around.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So there's no body. The parents don't have closure. They've hired this dirtbag to lead the investigation. They're selling the house. It's horrible. And yeah, no, she totally knows.
He's not really a dirtbag though, because he was on target for a lot of things.
Except the part about the Russians, but that's so perfect with this time frame or whatever. Matthew Modine's with the Russians.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna find out that maybe Maxine's a Russian. Who knows? We could have Russians. Maybe he just found stuff that we don't as an audience know yet.
I took it to be this is the time frame when Russian bad guys would logically make sense. It's Reagan whatever time.
Yeah.
And that's why
Russians make sense. They always made sense.
They make sense again now. There was a time period before, in between and then previous where it was less. You'd be something else or whatever. Nazis or something. But no, I took that to be a Cold War thing of and it's the Russians behind the whole thing. But no, yeah, he had a pretty good list of someone says a girl shattered the door with her mind, and I'm like, she did shatter the door with her mind. The dude was like, you can't take that stuff, and she was like, doors are closed now, fuck off, and the door's fucking shattered right in front of him. Oh shit! And then making the kid pee himself, they drop all that stuff in there and all that. So he's not a dirtbag. The show wants you to think he is, I guess, right? That's why I'm saying that. Hop has that line, stop bleeding those poor people dry and just go home.
Well, that's because he knows the truth and can't say anything.
Right.
I wonder if he will come into something and like find out the truth just before he dies.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be somehow. It's gonna be like Newman in Jurassic Park. He's gonna stumble on
down
something.
to the this.
Yeah,
like
something's gonna happen to him. He's gonna be like, "Oh no," or something like that. Like one of the kids is gonna be like, "You don't understand, upside down and shit." Demogorgon and whatever the fuck. He's gonna be like, "Kid, listen, there's Russians. I have to investigate," and it's gonna go all fucking haywire.
Do you think it's weird that 11 hasn't tried to contact the kids in almost a year?
I don't know.
Because she clearly doesn't listen to everything anyone ever tells her to do. She
True.
ate Eggos before her dinner.
We've talked about this.
I just feel like she would do something and find something, or like lay in a bathtub and mentally project, or like something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think we're going to find out more about the timeline and why it makes sense or maybe doesn't make sense. Because, yeah, I kept forgetting, too, that it had been so long or whatever, right? Because it does seem weird that things wouldn't have just happened or like randomly happened.
Yeah.
Is he just... So, the last season ends with him dropping off the Eggos.
Yeah.
Right? So this season, they're in this shack there, I guess nearby or somewhere else or whatever. Like, I guess at some point she had to have come back. You didn't know where she was or if she was alive or dead.
Or did he already know
the
then?
other side or whatever. I don't know.
They have to fill in a lot of stuff there.
He might have known, but like we didn't know.
Yes.
We thought she was still right because she zaps the dude and then disappears as well. So I don't even know. So like we took it to be like he's putting those Eggos there. Like I'm just gonna keep doing this. Maybe you'll be back someday. I miss you. You've like melted my like heart or whatever the fuck. But yeah. Maybe it was literally like
she was actually camping in the woods 10 feet from there.
Right. And it's just like okay, it's fine. You know, remember what I told you? Don't show yourself.
When we first saw the tripwire and him like step over it, I was like, it's a crotchety neighbor that poisoned the pumpkins. He's got.
I was just gonna say like what did you think as he approaches? Because it cuts way late.
Because I couldn't have thought that.
I know.
But Hop did live in a trailer before this.
Yeah.
It stands to reason he could have upgraded. He deserves it. He had a
when I saw
successful saving of the world.
When I saw the tripwire, I thought Hop's putting up this like brave front, but really he lives in fear every day of like the monsters coming back, and he tries to be strong for everyone else, but he like drops off the waffles, and he's got booby traps set up because he's like worried, or maybe he's seeing things too because he went over and came back. Who knows? But no, it was something much better. Yeah.
What do you think happens if you were to pull that tripwire?
Oh, I can't imagine.
Do you think there's an explosion, a shotgun? Does it just strip you? Like, what do you think happens?
I'm gonna go pots and pans.
Pots and pans?
I'm gonna go.
No, because it could be early warning detection. It could be a kill. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a really cool way of like unraveling the scene though, where he just like you see it come into view and catch the light, and then he steps over it.
Yeah,
and you're like, how did he see that? He's amazing. Hop's amazing. It's like
and then he has that like tech like to let you know it's
knock
me
and shit. Yeah, I know. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. That was the moment where I was like, "Oh, it must be his house," because he did that and then opened the door. It didn't feel like it was open. Like, I didn't hear like a click, 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 click. I was like, "Oh, okay."
She was in the other room or whatever doing that. But she's back. We don't see too much with her, but she is fucking back.
Yeah, back, curly hair.
Yeah, it's growing.
Yeah,
it's doing what it's doing.
That could have been a year worth, I suppose.
I don't know how hair works.
Because it's curly, it's probably longer than it looks. So I believe it.
And they can't actually get her to take a cut, so he's like the weird dad who's like, I'm just gonna hack some of this off. I guess. So this was sort of spoiled for us. I don't know if you remember at the panel, like years ago, right?
Which part was spoiled?
David Harbour was at the panel, I know. I'm not sure if 11 was with him that year, if that was a different year or something like that. But one of the audience members asked, like, I'm pretty sure 11's coming back. Like, do you think 11 and Hop, like, have any sort of, like, and he was like, I think that would be an interesting thing to explore, or something like that. And now, literally in the first episode, they're having dinner, and he's teaching her, like, Hop, who like has a thing with his kid dying or whatever, now has the kid all of a sudden, and he's like,
nice.
"Fuck, I'm doing
and
this
it fits.
thing."
It's good.
Wonderful. It's like bookends. It's neatly frames the whole thing.
Well, what's going to make it really interesting is she's arguably until they meet other characters, the most powerful person they know, and he's going to be very defensive of her and not want to use her as the tool she is because this is his daughter now.
So shit's gonna start to like break, like not break. Shit's gonna start to like fucking go off, right? In like the town.
I'm presuming
it's gonna get.
It may have already started because we have the poisoned pumpkins, and then something was in that cornfield. It wasn't the crow the whole time. Something was there.
We didn't talk about that.
I love how ballsy he is. It is like he knows what is out there in the world,
the possibilities,
and like that guns do not hurt. That don't do
and
shit.
They do not give a
fuck. And he walked out there like a boss. Just
I'm like Team Hop. I like Hop a lot.
I don't even know how he could walk with those balls.
His giant balls obstructing his thing. We didn't really talk about that. That was this interesting like jump scare sort of moment or whatever. But yeah, something's going on, right? Between that and the trash can. The pumpkins themselves are like rotted though, but also, right? Like it seems like too quick to have that much rot maybe, but maybe not. But
overnight, that's a crazy rot.
This sense of like corruption spreading, or maybe like whatever monsters or whatever things are here
I
now
took it as like they were
something.
getting a taste of the upside down or something, like it's like the mist of it is leaking out or something.
Yeah, something's fucking happening.
But yeah, it could just be the presence of a being from that world. But it's weird that it's like contained just that. Yeah, maybe like as it eats, it just decays it away, and because like the creature is the upside down, like so everything it bites becomes
spreads that horribleness.
I don't know.
Or something like that.
A lot of cool stuff. I don't know exactly. Big enemies I've never been a fan of because I think they're not really scary. When a bad guy gets over like 15 feet, it's no longer it's not like a fight anymore. So like
it's a force of nature.
This thing being like, it looks like almost like it's going to be a Tentacruel from Pokemon, only Godzilla sized. And I'm like, I don't know what the kids could actually do against that, or like anybody could do against that. So I'm hoping that that's just like something he looming and sees, and the thing that comes over to our world is just a different type of creature.
Right. I think we're going to be dealing with, at least for a while, we're going to be dealing with like whatever's rustling in the trash can and the cornfield and all that stuff. I'm interested because it seems like whatever those things are too small to be the monster from the original type of thing. I hope it's not just a smaller version of that or whatever.
Honestly, a bunch of small things
be terrifying.
Is scarier than a medium-sized thing.
No, I mean, like I hope the design is different than just a literally like hold shift and scale down.
I was picturing it's more of like a dog version of that.
Yeah, something interesting.
Because
like
of the perspectives, it seems like, something's different about it.
But no, I hope, and I do think, because they've been so smart thus far, that the large elder god creature will just be looming. It reminded me of like the Gate. I feel like we might get a couple of different weird monstrous things of some type. I hope, right? Something interesting like that.
I wouldn't even mind
this intimidating thing that just sort of looms.
Picture like just a squid that like rambles across the ground.
Cephalopods would be dope as fuck.
I think that would be really creepy, and like getting whipped and ripped down by a tentacle.
Here's the thing we never talked about: the fucking the original monster was called like Petal Head or Petal Face or whatever.
Okay.
Because those flaps are kind of like the petals of like a flower.
Sure.
And at the end of the last season, when they're talking about their D&D game, one of the like drop-in lines is like, "What about the princess? What about the tower? What about the strange flowers or whatever?" There was a weird strange flower line, and like when they're in the upside down and everything's growing on stuff, there are weird alien-looking flower things or something like that. So that might be like a theme in their design, how stuff works. They may all have flappy, non-heads or whatever.
And I'm fine with that. It was creepy.
Yeah.
It was creepier when you first saw it. As it grew on me, I wasn't as creepy.
Well, that was something, too. People were like, most of that's practical. There was a guy in a suit or whatever. And I'm like, really? Because that looked like CG garbage for like half of the time. That sucks. What happened?
Always loved practical effects. This show just has a great style and money, and things just look good. Like, it feels like it's back in the day, and I love that. It lends so much to a horror movie because things were scarier when you had less communication. Yeah,
back in the day with like Gremlins and stuff, and like you couldn't just like contact people now.
Yeah,
cell phoning and Googling how do you do this or whatever the fuck.
Do you have any predictions for the next episode of this?
I think we touched on a few of them. I'm interested to see like obviously Maxine joins the crew. I'm interested to see where this older brother fits in. I think Paul Reiser's dirty and horrible, but he's not the main bad guy. I would agree with that. Matthew Modine's either not really dead or there's someone else we just haven't met yet. Oh God!
I'm glad that Sean. When I saw that Sean asked him was it going to be in this, I assumed he was going to be the scientist, and I'm glad he's not. I think that's cool that he's going to be a good guy. I want to see the nerd do some damage to something later on. I don't think Maxine will join the crew until at least episode 4. I think there'll be resistance and things will happen and whatever, and you're not going to get that.
Yeah, she thinks they're Dorcases.
I wonder if you're even going to get 11 joining the crew until like episode 5 or 6. Like, I wonder if it's going to be a thing.
Something has to happen with her to bring them into the thing, but I like your angle of like Hop's not going to be in any rush for that. but we don't. There's so much we don't know about why they're in that situation, who exactly they're hiding from. Because he gets in the car with like the agents at the end, right?
Yes.
Are they the other people or not those people?
That's what we need painted
we don't
in.
know.
This picture's not complete. And we have 8 more episodes. We're going to find out a lot of cool stuff.
Oh yeah, it's 9 this season.
9, one whole extra episode, which is huge.
So all this was gravy right now. We're just getting started. This is wonderful. Yeah. I have no buttons or things that I wrote down. I think we covered like literally everything.
Yeah, it was a great episode, and it was easy to cover it because of how everything happened. Everything was seemingly meaningful and good stuff. So I don't really have anything left to say other than let us know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Did we miss anything? What are your predictions? And we'll see you next time. Don't die in a fire.